And we're live.
All right, this is the May 14th meeting of the Perry County Convention Recreation and Visitors Promotion Commission, CB Board. And I'm Brad Harth, Vice President, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Now, Chris has given each of us a copy of the agenda and a packet. At this point in time, we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The agenda is adopted. Next order of business is the presentation of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over the two sets of minutes? The first set from March 12th meeting and the second set from April 9th meeting. We'll deal with them separately. Okay. Anybody have any, when it comes to the March 12th, 2026 minutes, did anybody see anybody have any adjustments, corrections, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the March 12th, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Cindy makes the motion.
Second.
Steve seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And those minutes are approved. Moving on to the April 9th, 2026 minutes. Any comments, adjustments, or corrections? I had none either. So hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Cindy makes the motion.
Second.
Steve seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the minutes are approved. All right. All right. Next order of business is comments from citizens. We had nobody sign up to make comments, so we can pass over that. We're going to move the financial report next because Steve needs to get out of here, so pass it over to Steve.
Okay. I do have a number of checks here. I think everyone was sent out the list of checks. I don't know. Let me just read down through them here real quick, and then I'll get a motion to approve. We had, I'll just do it. I'm just going to do it how I got them here. We just signed them. There was on here for 2 ladders for $3,000. That was one of their, was that a quarterly payment there, Eric?
Monthly. Yeah.
Monthly payment from them for $3,000. PSC for $101.28. Tourism Information Services for $1,050. Linda Mattingly expense check for $310 for the which one was that? ITA conference, correct. And then Morris Terry, our CPA, for $540, and Travel Indiana for $1,050. So need a motion to approve those.
I have a question, real briefly.
Okay.
Eric, are you down there? I
Yes.
can't see.
Yeah.
Are you keeping that binder updated with e-tears or tear sheets attached to the invoices? Remember, I gave you a binder?
Yeah.
Were you able, perfect. Would you mind to bring that the next meeting?
Okay. So like the tear sheets for the ads, are you talking?
Yeah,
Okay.
tear sheets or e-tears, whichever, with the invoices. I have some things I'm kind of looking at, some other opportunities that have come up. So we may look at moving some stuff, but that's all I have.
Okay.
All right, any additional comments on the approval of payments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the payments.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Cindy makes the motion.
I'll second.
Steve seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Hearing nothing, the approval of payments is adjudicated.
We want to go ahead, and then Eric, you want to go over your ramp card real quick here?
Yeah, so I'll just real quick, $47.23 at Walmart. That was for coffee, bottled water, and Keurig descaling solution. So just all that good stuff. $2.99 for Apple service. That's extra storage for the phone. $120 for Canva. That's a one-time yearly payment for graphic editing software that was recommended to me by Two Ladders. That's what I've been editing my videos with. And $8 to India and Salina. That was a few Tuesdays ago, actually April 28th, when I went there to get footage and photography at Indian and Salina kayaking trip. And then the DJI payment that was canceled, that was a purchase I made that I later canceled, and we'll get to that later. So.
A related question. I got a brother-in-law who operates a drone in the county, and he has difficulty because where I live is pretty close to the airport. But he mentioned that when we looked it up online, that when we photograph for hobby or personal use, or operate a drone for hobby or personal use in the Hoosier National Forest, okay, there is no approval necessary. But when we do it for profit, we may need permission from the Hoosier National. Have you talked to them?
Yeah, so I had to sit down with Chris Thornton, and I don't know his official title, but he's kind of in charge of this neck of the woods, and also one of their public affairs people that was down from Bedford. And they said that those rules have lightened up quite a bit as far as footage and everything, because I asked them specifically, like, hey, because I know the national parks, which is different than the national forest system.
Right, the parks are different.
You can't fly in those at all, but I got the go-ahead. They said, no, there's really no, you could fly over them and stuff.
Yeah, we did notice the difference between the parks and the forest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, as long as you've touched base with
Yeah.
them, excellent. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's good because that's the main thing with like the certification and getting the drone, I guess my license is, so I think to inform you not to fly where you don't need to be flying.
Okay.
Because then you say you can't just play, I didn't know card,
Okay, gotcha. All right.
I got one, few other things here.
Okay, do we need to approve the ramp coverage or the
Yes,
ramp?
yes, we do.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept the ramp charges.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Sandy? Eric? Make the second.
John makes, yeah.
I'm sorry, John, yeah. Yeah, apologize. Got me out of whack now. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, the ramp charges are approved.
Okay.
I just have one other thing I want to bring up is our innkeeper's tax. To date, we didn't have any deposits in January, but we did have a larger deposit, January, February deposit in February, which was about $25,555.01. We also had another deposit in March for $5,900.42. And then the April deposit, I went in and saw Chris, and they become available around the 16th of the month. I was in there a little bit later, but I'm going to do these month by month. So it's going to be April 1st to April 30th, and it'll be May 1st to May 31st. So April was $44,467.01. So I just had it on my phone here, but we had about a $35,000 year-to-date innkeeper's tax, which is down significantly from where it was at because the Holiday Inn Express is still down. From what I understand, it's definitely going to be midsummer. It could even be later. Am I correct in that, Eric?
Correct.
I mean, it could be, so therefore, where we were normally running in those time frames, looking at 24, 25 time frame, we were running close to $8,000 to $12,000 a month for those months. So we're down from that time frame. We'll have to watch that. But everybody should have received the statements from Marsh Terry. I don't know if you saw those or not, but we do have a fairly significant amount in the Indiana trust account, so we look pretty good there. We'll just have to monitor this hotel situation. Hopefully that the new hotel, the Hampton Inn, will come on board here sometime this year or early next year. Any questions on anything on the financial side? I'm going to go ahead, if you want me to go ahead and talk about the.
Sure.
Last meeting, we had two bills come due, one from, they were from Secura, I think, and one was for a liability policy and another one was a surety bond. And doing some research since we moved to the commission side and we moved to the annex building out there, that's all now covered by the county. So we do not have to pay those bills. So just want to get a right update on that.
Yeah, I noticed that's coming up in the director's report, there was an issue about insurance, but you were talking at that point in time, insurance on loss, or is it insurance on liability for if the drone will fall out of the sky and hurt somebody or cause damage?
So that, I think that the mention of loss for the drone was for insurance coverage, yeah.
For insurance coverage for
Well, moving forward for,
replacement? Or-
yeah, replacement.
Okay,
Because the drone, we'll get to that in the director's report, is, it's in a lake right now.
yeah, okay.
I will talk about that then. All right.
Not fun. I'll sleep over it, but, yeah.
Any other questions on the financials? That's all I
Okay. Do we need to make approval on the treasurer's report or anything like that?
have. No, I think we just do the payments pretty
Okay.
much.
All right. Any other old business that anyone wants to bring to the fore at this moment? Hearing none. Essentially, new business, which I don't see any listed on our agenda.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so director's report?
All right. So yeah, the drone incident happened April 28th, Tuesday morning. I took 2 kayaks and picked up my dad and was going to get video footage and photographs, drone footage and video with the cell phone, and try to give you the abbreviated version. But operator error, I flew the drone too long. I was trying to do too much. Had my dad on the kayak, paddle this way, do that much. So that was the one thing I did, because normally I just fly it, get some shots, and then land it right away, and then monitor the battery. 2 was, I have to figure this out, still getting used to it. It usually marks the home point, like when you take off. And I don't know if it's like, sometimes it gets thrown off either if there's a wind or for whatever reason, it'll mark the home point away from where you took off at. And the home point was marked over Lake Salina. And I was, like I said, I was flying too long, and I was kind of, hey, Dad, do this, because if you let go of flying, it just stays there and hovers. And then lost track of time. It said it returns home when the battery gets low. The battery's too low. Return home is over the lake, and I'm trying to override that. I'm like, Dad. And he almost got to it, and it landed in the lake.
Aw.
And I went out there and kind of looked down, because it's a very clear lake. We came back with a canoe. I unloaded the kayaks, and because I could stand in the canoe and look down, and I was hoping I could just see the thing. And then I went back, and I took him home and went back later that day, and with a kayak, and then tracked down some boaters. And I said, you guys, can I stand on your boat and just look down and see this thing? Because I had Googled since then, if it's in the water. Well, I couldn't find it. And then I went back the following Monday, and with a friend of a friend's who had sonar on his kayak, and we looked, and I also had this little high-powered magnet that I was just throwing in the water with a string, just trying to needle in the haystack. So I did everything I could to retrieve it, and
There's not much metal on that drone anyway that's going to.
yeah, I said, they were like, well, maybe the battery, or I don't think that would have worked. The best bet would have been that sonar if he could have seen something, but it's a little thing. So I called Barry the day of and let him know what happened. He's like, what happened? And then I later told Steve, and I talked to the mayor about it too. So, yeah, I guess, and the good news is the replacement is not as costly as, because I have the remote, I have 2 batteries in the case and everything, so it's just replacing the drone body, and the memory card's down there as well. But yeah, I have another memory card for it, so it's somewhere in the range of $759 for retail for a replacement of that. I look at it, I mean, I don't mean to make light of it. I woke up like thinking, what the heck was I flying it? So, I kicked myself over it. But we've got brochures, we've got a website, we've got banners with all kinds of wonderful footage that I've got, out there in this county, over the winter, in the snow, on a lake, over a lake, this and that. And as one director said, well, if you had to hire somebody to fly the drone and get footage for you, it would have cost probably more than the cost of the drone. So moving forward, if we do decide to replace it, which I think we should, because we've got stuff on our website and on the, we're getting really good footage and videos on the Facebook page and everything, that we get insurance for it that would replace a total loss and everything. So I'm not out there sweating it, because like I've had accidents with gear before with camera lights, studio lights out on location. It starts raining and it fried a bulb or something, and that was a $400 replacement. To get out there and to get in nature and get the good shots, sometimes you have to, take risks and whatnot. So, but
It happens.
So we got 2 issues here. Number 1 is the replacement of the drone. And
Do you need a motion on that?
I believe at that price that we should make a motion. Do we have a motion to replace the drone?
I will make that motion, sir.
Cindy makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Steve seconds it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And that is approved. Now, the second issue is the purchase of the replacement insurance, which you say is $100. Well, what was the price that you quoted up?
65 to 100. I think.
yeah, 60 to 100 depending on the drone's value.
For how long?
I
year?
think that's a year.
For a year?
And I have to look into that more because the manufacturer of the drone as well has a, something like replacement. But I would want something that, whether it's damaged or whether it was lost, because there's a lot of water in this county, and I don't plan on drowning the damn thing again. But just, like that's some of the prettier shots, And I wish I could get that memory card out of there because I had some really nice shots. Beautiful day. We've had these beautiful days, but yeah, to just replace it for the loss and everything. But I could look into that further. That was all of the Google
But
search.
we didn't have insurance on this.
No, we did not.
Are you sure it was included in some of our equipment insurance that we had at the depot? Didn't we have?
I could look into that, but
I was trying to think, who holds our policy? Was it Harpenel's?
Well, I was under the Secura before. Now I think it's under Shepherd Insurance under the county.
Yeah, they've been bought out.
So, did Shepherd buy it by Harpenen? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's worth a check. And
Yeah.
honestly, Eric, I don't remember reviewing that insurance policy, but we may get lucky and there'll be something in there for equipment. I mean, it's worth a check,
okay. Yeah, absolutely.
But previously, we talked about not needing that liability insurance. Was that equipment insurance possibly in those policies that we've let?
Say that again, Brian, I'm sorry.
We just talked about in old business, the 2 bills for insurance companies that we were going to check into, and we determined that we did not need those policies. Could this coverage, we need to check to see if that coverage would be included under those policies. And if so, we might have shot ourselves in the foot by not continuing to approve those. We'll check into it and see which end of the spectrum would come out best on.
I've
Okay.
got
How much were those? Never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the drone was about $1,200 altogether, right?
Yeah, but the replacement will be about
$7.
under $800 for the replacement, just because the remote itself costs a few $100s. The batteries are $100 a piece. So I had 3 batteries.
This is a contact for you there.
Okay.
We'll get a hold of her.
So for the moment, I think it's appropriate to table this discussion until we have more information about whether or not we could pay a previous premium and get it covered, or whether we need to move forward and do a different policy.
Okay.
We'll table that until next meeting, if everybody think that's a
Too
good
long
idea.
for you
Well,
without a
when's he
drone?
gonna order the drone?
I mean, I could look into it and then the yay or nay, if it's not covered or whatever, and then purchase it and then work on getting additional coverage.
What are your personal feelings on that, Eric? I mean, do you,
I thought I could work around it. Like I was planning on doing some video today and tomorrow and some photos and stuff doing the Saddle Lake and that it can be worked around. And I tabled some of that because of the move to the annex I started that move the next day, I was like, or at least preparing for it.
Could we do it on a conditional, check into the insurance and the insurance lets know that he can move forward? And then if we don't have any insurance, then maybe approve it up to $100 to get insurance on
I think that's Cindy's.
I think we need insurance.
it. No, I do too.
Mhm.
Either way, I'm just saying, he can check in to see if it's currently covered or not, that's $700, okay? And if it's not, then
Agreed, okay, I got you.
he can move forward, and then if he moves forward and it wasn't covered, then we approve up to $100 to get insurance, if he gets the new one and starts using it before the next meeting.
Eric, and you're sure that $100 would cover insurance?
I'm not positive, no, that was just a kind of a quick, like, I had talked
I
to
got
another
you.
drone operator and they said, approximately that's the cost, so.
And are you gonna get quotes from other insurance
I
companies?
can, yes,
Yeah, I would prefer that we do that, honestly, because sometimes they're just really out of whack.
yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. I'm just a board member, but
And also I'll get the quote from the manufacturer because I
Yes.
believe they have something like, I don't know about this Apple Care, but like almost a complete coverage, like for laws, for theft.
so
or
Apple
whatever.
Care is the.
No, it would be the DJI is the
Oh, gotcha,
manufacturer,
gotcha.
but like similar to that, the manufacturer has some sort of,
So would you have a personal contact if you go with that company? I would prefer that we be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, so-and-so.
like keep it local as far, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, roger that.
Now, that's just my personal
No, that's-
opinion, whatever the
yeah.
board thinks.
As long as
But
the price isn't
it's,
just
yeah,
ridiculous.
so long as it's not
Yeah.
huge difference.
So did we essentially create a motion that approves the insurance, okay, based on shopping around if the coverage doesn't currently exist? Okay, contingent upon that.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? John? Okay, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right.
So next up is this Ohio Riverway expedition. These guys took off, and I don't know how many of them, and these really big, if you've seen the paddle Perry boats that hold 10 people, they took off from Canova, West Virginia on May 10th, and they're heading to Evansville. And the Ohio Riverway, I have these magazines I gave you guys. They're a nonprofit coalition focused on recreation, conservation, tourism, and community development along the Ohio River corridor in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And they're making this big trip, and they're camping along the way. And I contacted Kelly Hess with Paddle Perry, and she put me in contact with these folks and reserved a spot for me to get camp with them in Battletown, Kentucky. It's outside. The address is Battletown, but it's a farm near there, essentially across the road from Leavenworth, on the night of Wednesday, May 27th. And then we get up in the morning and start paddling approximately 22 miles to Rome and camp overnight in Rome. And then the final segment, they drop me off in Troy because I think they're going to go beyond that. But then I would essentially have paddled or seen the entire, full coverage of Ohio River going through Perry County, which I think is kind of neat.
I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
taking pictures and promote the group and stuff. I don't have all the logistics, like I don't know if I need to bring my own food or tent or what, or if I need to figure that out. So worst case scenario, I'm just sleeping outside, getting bit by bugs, starving to death. But I'm ready for it. So
Okay.
I think it's a neat opportunity. It's a neat group. They've got a lot of coverage. And Forrest, their director, was at the Louisville Boat and RV show, and we talked to him for a while and everything. So it's a neat thing.
Strength.
So I guess
Cost to it.
not that I've been told, no, I haven't.
So you're just asking for approval?
Yeah,
Do you need a motion on that?
I don't believe we do we?
I don't think so, do we?
okay.
I think
Just let you guys know.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
Go.
I'll be out of the office on those days out there somewhere on the river. So.
Right.
Make sure you wear a life jacket.
Yeah.
Please, yes, please.
There are life jackets for drones too, but we're not going to do that. So the office relocation from the depot to the annex, started boxing stuff up on April 29th and organizing files and whatnot on last Wednesday, May 6th. Holly's moving service completed 2 trips transporting furniture, boxes, brochures, and additional office materials to the annex location. And I followed with several trips. I think I made my last trip on Tuesday. I had a full truckload. So we're moved in there. There's still a lot in the annex, or the depot rather, that belongs to the CVB that we knew we were not going to be able to bring along with us. Tables and stuff. We're moving into a much smaller space, and we've kind of organized all that. Plus those, the big display boards and the Indiana 200th anniversary display, which is a really neat, handcrafted item. I don't know who those belong to, and that'll be a board decision. Mayor Kale helped me move things and go through things and talk and help me box up a lot of stuff on Monday, and I really appreciate that. I want to thank him for that. But there is items remaining, and I don't know if we're going to have to get an extension, like a weekly rent, or how that'll work.
Actually, we may want to consider getting a storage unit. I don't know how much you actually have. I stopped by the office when I was at the coroner's office to see if you're in. But they're very economical, and we can store brochures in there if we have to. And I do know that office is sort of segmented, so you could have some storage in that front part and then the office part. But do keep in mind that you have a door that walks right into your storage unit at the annex. So we need to be sure that we kind of, what we're actually storing in there. But I would not be opposed to getting a unit and keeping some brochures in there. Then you keep a limited amount at the office. That's just my thoughts.
That big display, that big fold-up display, which is beautiful, I think.
That's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, we looked at, Eric and I looked at that, and I wished Mayor would be here, but maybe we could position that in the museum somewhere or somewhere where it's
I think that's a great idea.
highly
actually.
visible, because it's really the history of Perry County. And my concern is if you put that into storage, it's going to create
Right.
moisture, and you're going
Agreed.
to have problems with it. So I think,
Temperature.
yeah,
Right.
you'll have a lot of variations there and moisture in there as well. If we could table that to the next meeting, and maybe we could discuss it with Mayor Kale in the meantime and see what we could do with that. But that particular piece, I think, would be great in a museum or some highly visible location in Perry County that people can see that. if we ever get our own location sometime, that would be a great place to put that, up front, because you can really tell a story off of that, in my opinion. And that there's a beautiful table down there as well. I saw it. It's 10 feet or whatever. We really need to
The
decide.
conference table,
Yeah,
I think that may belong to the city.
Well, not in the conference room, but the table it had a cloth over it and
it was in the
I was gonna
display
say a
area.
vintage.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's a
misunderstood.
big, wide, beautiful table. And then there were display cases and then quite a few
Display case.
pictures and stuff like that
Yeah,
too.
and
But
things like clothes hangers that were like really heavy duty, like metal on wheels and stuff some of that stuff, I do not know, this is not my decision, may need to be auctioned off, or I don't know exactly who it belongs to. Those will be board decisions.
And we're certain that we own that?
No,
not 100%.
Yeah.
And we need to have a meeting with the mayor most probably and get
I
that
agree.
done. Maybe.
And those panels, I think they were a project for a community foundation or some community group, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it at this point. So I don't know if those belong to the city and they were done for the depot. I don't know. But I do agree that it would be perfect in the museum. Either one of them. We have the Tell City Museum, and then we have the one in County, which is the county museum. So
I'd just say that
I think it's a great idea.
I'd just say we table it till the next meeting and get with the mayor and try to resolve it between now and the next meeting. They don't have that rented right now anyway, so I don't think that's really going to create a problem down there. If it does, then get in contact with us and then we'll make some decisions in between now and then.
yeah, and
I'm sure Chris will work with us
Yeah.
as far as
absolutely, yeah.
something like that, which either we are going to own or we're going to let the museum use. We're all thinking for the betterment of the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Or somebody else in the community could use it in the
That's
county.
true.
So, yeah, we most probably need to make a list of what's there and then get that out, see if anybody else could use it somewhere. Okay.
Eric, anything else?
next Tuesday, I'll try to make this quick. Next Tuesday, May 19th is an ITA Executive Summit at Jasper Parklands. It's the Indiana Tourism Association, designed for tourism leadership professionals and focus on strategic leadership, organizational effectiveness, and emerging industry trends. Cost is $149. I have not signed up for it yet because I think I could do that anytime before next Tuesday. It's from 8:30 to 3:30 Eastern. And just looking for you guys' go ahead to attend that summit in Jasper.
I would definitely like to see you attend that.
Okay.
You'll really enjoy that.
We need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion on that.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? John?
I'll second it.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion is approved. Anything else that anybody needs to go through?
So I did have a request of a Two Ladders marketing report, and basically April was a strong month because we moved from simply announcing the new website to promoting reasons to go to Perry County, and the changes help increase in visibility, clicks, and website traffic. Those guys, I had a meeting with them Tuesday, and they have a ton of information here if anyone has any questions or anything. Probably more than you want me to go over right now.
Okay.
But,
Why don't we have them come back in next month and do another report?
okay, roger that.
You go over the analytics. I think that's a good idea. I have a quick question. Are we seeing, Steve, this is for you, as a lodging person, are we seeing an uptick in customers lodging at your place?
Well, it's this time of the season, so ours has definitely picked up. Now, can I tie?
Since we started with Two Ladders?
Yeah, well, I mean, currently we have bookings right now, yes. I mean, in the
How about
winter,
the others? Are they?
I don't know
I
that.
don't hear much from them.
Are you hearing much from them?
I've not talked I guess I talked to, who has the Derby cabins on the Ohio, Brad, And I had done some footage at his cabins, but I have not talked to them, so I could look into that. I've been pretty busy with the move.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a little,
It's a thing, isn't it?
yeah,
For sure.
it feels like a huge relief now because now I'm just unboxing stuff, but I will look into that.
I've had comments that they're seeing a whole lot more visibility online, all over the place.
That's
And
the goal.
and I see it
That's the
myself
goal.
as well.
And I was doing a lot of videos and then the move happened, and so hopefully I'm getting back out today and tomorrow and start those up again. And it was a damper losing that drone, but I could work around
Well,
it.
it's
So.
okay. It happens.
And then the only other
We'll get it
thing
fixed.
is I called PSC Fiber. We had that bill for $100 some for the email and internet at the depot. It's good till May 31st. And to cancel it, I just have to give them our federal ID number, but I was just looking for everyone's blessing to do that. Plus, I still have the key down. I mean, there's still a lot down there. I brought everything I thought necessary and got the second from the mayor. And if I need to work down there, if I go down there and find myself going through anything, I could sit at the table and use the internet. But then I think after this payment, we could go ahead and cancel that. But just wanted to make you all aware of that
Yeah.
too, so.
Did that complete your report, sir?
Lisa, yes.
All right. At this point in time, I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll
Make
make a motion to.
Cindy makes the motion, Steve makes the second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, just stay right here.
Good deal.
Eric, is this mine to keep?
Good job.
Yes.
Oh,